If you have ever tried to wire a sports bar or even just a massive smart home, you know the absolute headache of the distribution problem.
Oh, yeah. It is a nightmare.
Right. You've got, say, 8 different video sources, cable boxes, Apple TVs, game consoles, and you need to get them to 8 different rooms without the place looking like a Best Buy exploding.
And you need to do it without losing signal quality, which is...
Which is the real trick here.
Exactly.
So our mission for this deep dive is unpacking how professional setups actually distribute 4K video over long distances. No signal loss, no cable clutter. And we're doing this by looking at the product specs for the Zenty ZT-116.
Which is, on paper, it's an 8x8 4K 60Hz HDBaseT HDMI Matrix Extender.
That is a lot of words to basically say it's the brain of the operation.
Pretty much.
But what jumped out at me immediately isn't just that it routes video, it is how it handles those physical limitations we all hate. I mean, we all know the pain of standard HDMI. You hit that 20-foot wall, and suddenly you've got
Digital snow. Or just a black screen. It is the classic bottleneck. HDMI simply wasn't designed for whole home runs.
Right.
That is why the Zenty uses HDBaseT technology. It actually converts that heavy 4K HDR signal so it can travel over standard, inexpensive Cat5e or Cat6 Ethernet cables.
And the distance specs here are actually really serious. We are talking 131 feet or 40 meters for full 4K HDR.
Or up to 230 feet, about 70 meters, if you were just running 1080p.
Wow.
So you can keep your server rack tucked away in a basement closet and still drive a display on the second floor with zero latency.
Okay, but here's the part that actually stopped me when I was reading the specs. This is sold as an 8x8 matrix.
Right. 8 inputs, 8 outputs.
Exactly. Usually that's just hard math, game over. But the documentation says this thing supports up to 15 displays.
It does sound completely contradictory, doesn't it?
It sounds impossible unless they are, daisy-chaining a bunch of junk.
Yeah.
But looking closer, it is actually a really brilliant hardware hack.
It really is. Let's break down the math. You have the one local HDMI output right there on the main unit.
Which you would usually use for your local monitor at the rack.
Exactly. And then you have the 7 HDBaseT outputs that go out to the remote receivers. But the real aha moment is in those remote boxes.
Yeah, this is the key differentiator here.
Right, because the kit comes with 7 receivers, and each one of those has dual HDMI output ports.
So you run a single Cat6 cable from the basement to the living room.
Plug it into the receiver, and that one single box splits the signal to drive 2 different screens simultaneously.
Which is just huge for an installation budget. Think about a conference room where you have a main projector and a confidence monitor. Or a sports bar with back-to-back TVs on a pillar. You effectively double your endpoint capacity without having to run a single extra cable through the wall.
It creates a tremendous amount of flexibility. You are literally getting 15 screens live from a single 1U rack mount unit.
My concern, though, whenever I see active receiver boxes at the end of a long run, is the power situation.
Oh, finding an outlet.
Yes. Usually that means I need to find space behind a flat, wall-mounted TV for some bulky power brick just to run the receiver. And if I am driving 2 screens off one box, that power draw has to be pretty significant.
You would think so.
Yeah.
But the ZT-116 utilizes PoC, which is power over cable.
Okay.
The main matrix unit in the basement actually shoots the electricity down that exact same Cat6 line, right along with the video data.
Wait, so the remote receivers don't need their own power adapters? No wall warts behind the TV?
Completely clean. You just mount the little box, plug in the Ethernet, and you are done. The Matrix powers all 7 of them.
That is a total lifesaver for clean installs.
Definitely.
Now, since all the heavy gear is sitting down in the basement, how are we controlling it? I assume they didn't forget bidirectional IR.
They absolutely did not. You can point your remote at the TV in the bedroom, and it shoots the control command back down the Ethernet to the cable box in the rack, or vice versa. They also included RS-232 and WebGUI. So if you are integrating this into a pro system like Control4 or Crestron, or if you just want to switch inputs from your phone browser, those pathways are wide open.
And I saw they included optical SPDIF and analog RCA ports for audio extraction on the main unit too, which saves you from buying separate audio de-embedders if you are running a whole home audio system.
It really is a Swiss Army knife approach. They have packed the 4K 60 Hz, 4.4.4 HDR video distribution, the power delivery, the control signals, and the audio management into a single Ethernet infrastructure.
It's impressive efficiency. It essentially turns a cheap piece of Cat6 cable into a high-fidelity pipeline for literally everything a TV needs to function.
It definitely forces you to rethink the wiring in a modern smart home build.
It really does. It actually makes me wonder if a single Cat6 cable can now carry high-fidelity video, power control, and data all at the same time. Are we approaching a future where we just don't even put traditional power outlets behind our entertainment centers anymore?
Now, that's a really fascinating possibility to consider.
Something for you to mull over next time you're fishing wire through drywall. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We will catch you on the next one.